Raid Shadow Legends, we're going to do a champion spotlight on Vrask. He is an epic orc champion that can be your primary healer. We're going to see how well he does. We're going to get right back to this right here. I'm just going to pull up his stats really quick. What I have on my level 50 Vrask. We're at 42k HP. His defense is pretty low, but again, he's level 50, and his speed to me seems kind of low. But he does have good skills. We'll go over that in just a second. Let's get back. And he does have 99% crit rate, which is very important for Vrask. So we'll get back to him in just a moment. Let's start up this gameplay. I took out Bad Alcazar, because he's just my main healer, of course. And he lays down the DPS with the dots. They're so good in level 20 content. We're going to hit play here. We are going to put in Vrask. You already see him here. And then I'm going to put in, we're going to sub in somebody else. We're going to sub in a rare champion. We don't want to get too many legendaries in here. I could take out Altan. It's not that big of a deal. I could put in some more DPS. Actually, I should have taken out Altan and put in Aethel. So we just have some more AoE, some weakening, and whatever else. And let it roll with more rares. But here we are. Let's see what his heal does, okay? So we're going to use him. So he's healing every turn for 4,200 right now. Again, he's level 50. At level 60, he would have way more HP. We'll look at that in a moment. And he'd be healing for some more, right? But he'd also have higher defense for survivability. And he'd be doing more damage because his skills are based off of HP. I'm trying to look at what's going on down here. So if you see, then you've seen that he's been healing pretty well. So he's the primary healer on this run. We have Apothecary speeding everybody up. We have counterattacks, which anytime you have a champion like this that does an ability, counterattacks are always welcome, especially on their skill 1. He does it on any of his moves, but being that he can crit and heal on anything, when he counterattacks, he's going to crit and heal. So it just adds to how well he is. So he's doing a great job healing. We'll see if he can keep it up for the actual boss, the Golem's 20 boss with his side champions. Let's go over here to... Let's go back to Vrask. So here we are. Here's what I've got on him. I'm going to go over his gear kind of quickly. You can... if the computer will keep up... We are frozen here, folks. We are frozen. I'm trying to click... Okay, we've gone over to gear. So I just kind of threw on him what I had left over. I didn't take any gear from anybody. I tried to get anything with crit and speed, which is pretty much what I like to do on all my champions. So the gear is kind of scarce for me to go over and get this. Now this one is very nice. I had this one. I rolled it. I hit 2 times into crit and 1 time into speed. That was pretty awesome. And whatever else we have here. Same thing. I just took some gear that had speed and crit that were rare, and boom. I got the crit I needed. I slapped it on him. I had this left over. This, as you can see, is a common. So it had no substats whatsoever when I first rolled it, and it was already leveled up from long ago at 50 HP. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to throw it on him and use it. Now I did have HP neck and ring and neck, but he had such low defense. I had to switch that out. I didn't want to keep his defense was already pretty low down here. Oh, I'm in the way. His defense is already pretty low at 632 at this level. So I had to switch this out. These are just both defense necklaces. Again, I will pop up his total stats because I know my head is blocking them right now. I apologize, but you got to see me somehow. So there we are. Now you can see it all. He has his defense standard is 632 right now at level 50. So it is very low. And if you don't have at least a decent amount of defense, even with super high HP, you're going to get taken out pretty easily or drop down pretty easily, especially if they put another defense break on you, which they do in Ice Golem, so it can be pretty rough. So I gave him a little bit of extra defense. That's fine. He's still going to heal for a tremendous amount because he's healing every turn, and we'll get into that. Let's get into that right now, what his skills actually are, what makes him a good healer, and if you have him, why you should use him. Is he a good healer? Yes, he is definitely a good healer and does a good amount of damage, especially with high-end gear. He can do really well. His damage is based off of HP. All HP, as you can see here. And anytime he crits, which you're going to want him to crit because that's how he heals, he gets a 20% additional turn meter. So fills the champion's turn meter by 20% if this is a critical hit. that is really good. You want his skill 1 to go off all the time. You don't even, this guy's so good, I think mainly because you don't have to book him. You don't need any books. You don't even want to book this because you want his skill 1 to go off more often to get that 20% additional turn meter. So you don't even want skill 2 to go off. And then he has his passive. Here's where it comes from. The cannibalism passive. Heals all allies by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit. Now that's of his max HP, which makes any healer based like that the best healer in the game. I'm not saying he's the best healer in the game. I'm just saying any healers in the game that do heals on everybody based off of their own max HP are the good healers, the best healers, because you got people in there that aren't necessarily high on HP, that are your DPS or different, maybe they're defensive champions that aren't going to have super high HP. So therefore, you can make this person have the really high HP, and the heals will be way more beneficial for your whole party instead of doing those area heals that do 20% of their own HP. You know what I'm saying. So he heals off of a crit 10% of his max HP every turn. So it doesn't matter, he's critting every turn, he's healing somebody, and he actually has a really good leader skill for dungeons. 33% increased defense in dungeons is fantastic. Too bad it's not HP, because that would help him out even further, but that's fine. So this is Vrask. This is Warlord's twin brother. Let's go into the Masteries. Now the Masteries, I recently had him running in Minotaur 15, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait till I'm completely done. I'll just go ahead and do the video because there's not a lot of crazy stuff to talk about. You want the crit damage here in offense to help out if you need it. And then you want to go down to War Master. Just go ahead and get War Master if you want to. I would get that extra damage if he's going to be running in PvE, which he is. I've seen some in PvP, but I don't think he's that beneficial in PvP. Run him in PvE, get him in Clan Boss if you need a healer, get him in all the runs if you need a healer. It just depends on what you need. Healer-wise in the game, it's kind of hard sometimes to have a really good healer in this game to draw one. So if you're lucky enough to get a good healer, you're going to really try to maximize them and use them in as many things as you can. And that way, you might not have the lifesteal gear to support all your people. So you need a healer like this, and you need a good healer, and he's definitely one of the better healers. So go ahead and go down here to War Master, get whatever else you want along the way. Definitely get the crit damage to help you out. And then I wouldn't even worry about support. Support does have a few things that increase your healing, but everything else in support runs off of doing buffs or debuffs. It just, and right here, to get an extra turn, to decrease the cooldown of a random skill. All these things in support, besides the heal ones, aren't that interesting to me. I would rather go down in the defensive tree, get a chance to remove a debuff, and then get a chance to do some counterattacks maybe off of deterrence. And 20% to counterattack if something happens. And then we have another one for retribution. So go down here to retribution and get a chance to counterattack again. Just because there are more interesting things for me in the defensive tree than there are the support tree for Vrask. I just don't think the extra little bit of healing on these couple stats here. I know you get extra HP here too as well, but either one, it's really not going to make that a difference. I just think I'm going to go defense, I'm going to go offense, I'm going to get War Master, and I'm going to get the rest of the stuff in here in defense to play around with and have a good time with if I ever take him to 60. Also, he's another champion that you don't necessarily have to take to 60. He does a phenomenal job at 50. You don't need to rush out and take this guy to 60 at all. He does a really good job at 50. Let's get back and see where we're at with him. I know our team was doing some stuff here, and let's go over here to this. They have already beat the boss one time, but I want to show the boss battle here because we actually win at a fairly good pace. The timing isn't that bad. We get down, we get the boss. It's already been 4 minutes. Of course, we have Martyr in here, leading the charge, doing the taunts, and doing the attack down on all the waves, which really helps. And I brought Kale in here because poisons help out so much on these level 20 bosses. If you're struggling to do damage to these level 20 bosses, bring in somebody with poisons. They just make the boss fights faster. They really do. It might make the waves slower because you're doing poisons, but even then, it really helps out because they have such high defense and such high HP. The poisons just really speed up the runs overall. If you don't already have just a crazy good, in-game team that you're just blowing through this stuff with the people that we saw on the tournament who just can do wave after wave within 2 minutes and just crush it. Obviously, if you have that, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not crushing it, if you're having some difficulty, try out poisons. It also tricks the ice golem. When he takes his turn, it'll drop him down HP underneath those thresholds where he won't go ahead and do that AoE attack where he drops down from those thresholds. I can't click on it right now because this is recording. The other one has the actual game up. But be careful though. If you drop the ice golem down too much during a time when his other champions are up, you know how ice golem works. We've done plenty of videos on ice golem and reviews. I have quite a few. You can check those out as well. So we do beat this at a decent time. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at? We are at 6 minutes. So okay, still long, but not crazy long. And Vrask held out. He was there the whole time, no problem, made it work, was our primary healer. We probably got a few backup healers from Apothecary, but he's there just to speed everybody up. Turn meter boost, turn meter increase. That way we can get Vrask doing more attacks. Martyr the same way with counterattack, getting him doing more attacks, more heals. And again, his stats are pretty good right now at level 50. Let's go on to this next video here. So I take him into the second run. And this is what can happen in Ice Golem. He is still doing a fine job at healing at level 50. Like I said, there's no reason to go out and rush him. But here's what can happen in Ice Golem. You can get down these guys and be working well. Everything looks fine, no problem. You're going to take him below. Okay, we just took him below a threshold where he brings back his champions and hits you really hard. Or if his champions are up, he ignores 50% of your defense per champion that's up and hits you really hard and then has a really high chance to stun. So you don't want to get caught with that, but it happens. It happens on auto, especially if you have counterattack when you're rolling in there with them. That's why it's a little bit risky to roll counterattack, but it usually works because he has such a high HP pool. On 20 it works. On 20 it seems to work well. So here we are. We're getting him down. We're getting him down a little bit too much, and everything still looks fine. But then he hits me with this whammy. No, not that one. Was it that one? I thought I already got hit. Now I'm just jumping around. Now I'm looking foolish because I'm just jumping around. I think it was somewhere around here. Yeah. This guy gets down pretty low, and he hit me. There it went. I'm sorry. So this guy got down pretty well. I hit him with Apothecary, got him down past that last tier, and he did his move where it ignored 100% defense and then had a really high chance to stun because he has his champions up. So from here on, I actually fail this because now he's going to, look, he's taking people out. They've got decreased defense on, and that's it. But let's get back to what really matters. We're going to go back to Vrask. So should you use him? Yes. If you need heals, he is one of the better healers out there. He is very gear intense. You need a lot of good gear to roll him. You need the high crit rate. You need the high HP, which he comes with anyways. His standard HP, let's go over here on his stuff, is, as you can see you see it split up 16,000. It doesn't, yeah, it breaks it over here on the left hand side. So on the left hand side over here where you see my cursor, here's his HP at level 50 and here's his defense. You see how low it is in his base speed. Now we're at 16,000. We're gonna go over here and look at his maxed out level 60 stats, which are crazy high. It's like 23,000. So if you're having problems with the survivability and you want to take him to 60, do it. If not, keep him at 50. He does the job just fine, but again, he is gear intense because you need the high HP, you need the high crit. You have to have the crit chance up to 100%. You just have to. However, you need to do it with a crit leader or anything else. But where is he at? So you need the high crit and you need decent speed. You can't have him be a turtle. You need him taking turns. You need him going in there and taking turns. But he does have 23,000 and he gets up to 870 defense, which is a little bit low for an epic, but still we can work with it because he has high HP. But that is it. So we're defeated over here on the side of the Ice Golem. That's all I've got for you for Vrask. He's a great champion. If you need heals, put him in there as your primary healer. Get a secondary in there with Apothecary to speed things up, and you'll be good to go. You can take him anywhere you want to take him. You can even use him in Clan Boss. Alleviate some of those guys you don't have lifesteal gear on so that you can have this healer out here, and he should help you out. He should help out any account that needs help with heals, and I definitely suggest using him. Take him to 50. Try him out. Get that good gear on him. See how well you like him. If he's working out for you, for sure take him to 60. That's all I've got for Vrask. I appreciate you guys for watching. I will see you all on the next video.